The following podcast is brought to you by Cast Content Media.
Hey guys, it's Ron Worley, your most imperfect host of Sons of Ditches. People are liars, thieves, addicts, and assholes. Some people change, and a few make a difference. But everyone has a story.
Ron Worley here. Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of Sons of Ditches. As the intro said, that is my name. Today I am welcoming a good friend of mine, I believe he was a minister / pastor in his past. He's also had one hell of a past that we are going to share with you today. And it's all turned out good. He just got back from the Caribbean, and we're going to talk about that too. Justin, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. So I'm not sure I'm mentally back yet, but hey, whatever. Still on Caribbean time.
Yeah, no shit. You are like 10 pounds heavier in your face. Just kidding.
Yeah, well, maybe. You never know.
So off air, we were talking a little bit about it, but so in the Caribbean, we went to Jamaica, and I was just about to say every time. So when we went there, we thought we were, you expect to eat Mexican food because I've only ever been to Mexico outside the country. And
yeah,
it's super weird how different food. What do they have in the Caribbean?
So they had a lot of just kind of the same things. They had like their normal country food they had, and then they also had like a steakhouse and a seafood house and stuff. So they had like 8 restaurants on site.
Oh, that's
so
good.
you'd go and pig out, and then they had a buffet that you could go just eat and eat and eat.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's cool, man. So you were gone for 14 days, just you and the wife, and you're celebrating how many years of marriage?
20 years. 20
Ooh.
years. Anybody that could put up with me for 20 years deserves like a Nobel Peace Prize or something like that.
Damn straight. I know it.
Yeah.
But you guys, you guys have been together for a long time. Yeah, 20 years. Is that when you got married, or is that when you met?
That's when we got married. So we've known each other, I think for 28 years total.
Yeah. Okay. So she's been to hell and back with you.
Oh yeah. She swam upstream with me and got my crazy ideas, and she just shakes her head sometimes and whatever.
Yeah. That's so someone told me the other day that women are our guide wires. Keep us flying off the rails, I guess.
Yep, that's what she's like. You're Justin's guardrails. I tell you, you're just keep him grounded,
right? Not
too crazy. Because I have some crazy ideas, and sometimes they fly, and sometimes they don't. But I think my next venture here it's going to be like a husband-wife thing that kind of our experience pulled together just is going to be something cool.
Yeah, what, you want to share yet, or think you want to?
Yeah, we're doing a consulting firm, so. It's easy to, like, when people are already in business, they get stuck. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of like one of those, where do you go from here? How come I'm not motivated? How come the enthusiasm's not there anymore?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So we're trying to figure out how to approach it, but I've got some great ideas about just kind of how to be motivated again.
Yeah.
So
yeah. To keep the business owners and the business flowing nicely, and maybe save a marriage or two too.
Yeah, because a lot of people are in business together, with spouses or loved ones and stuff, and so it's like you see each other every day, and it's like I don't want to see you at night, kind of thing. And
right,
in COVID, the thing I hear a lot of people, it's been about a 50-50 split of. I'm so sick of my spouse. I can't stand him. We split up and we're done. And I'm like, really? My wife's like, well, I kind of liked him being home.
Yeah. Well, and if you're not used to being home, I mean, I can imagine some people who work away from home all the time. They probably have much more problem, many problems, something like that. So, but Aaron and I, many more are a problem. Me and Aaron really didn't have that. Never came up. The only time it came up was when both the boys were still at home, or Brendan came back from college and stayed with us for that first month we were on lockdown. And he left, like he had to get the hell away. So it's like, no, never mind. I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
And it helped us get rid of little Aaron too, because he was, okay, I'm out. 18, I'm gone, dude. I don't want to be around these people. But you know what? Now you still have kids at home. In fact, just so you know, I was talking to your son online the other day.
Oh yeah.
About cars.
Yeah, he's got a car. He wants to do all kinds of crazy stuff to it, and I was like, you better figure something out, because you can't just start adding stuff to it. And he's like, oh, I know, but do you?
Yeah, it's funny. They always start with the the exhaust, and they want to be loud and obnoxious, and the car's still moving yet. So
yeah, and I said, when you move out in your own neighborhood, you can put a rice burner thing on there, but other than that, keep it quiet.
It's funny. To all my listeners out there, I don't believe what he believes. It is not a rice burner.
I'm a Jeep guy.
Well, I'm going to give him a ride in my car, just so you know, someday. I promise.
That's fine. Yeah, he's like, no, I talked to Ron about something. I was like, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, I told him he better start saving his pennies, get a good job, and all that good stuff. Because it's not cheap, man, to mess around with those cars.
Oh, I know. And him trying to save money is like crazy, because he's got a whole wall of shoes, just in boxes and stuff. I'm like, you gonna buy gas, or you gonna buy a pair of shoes?
Right. So, right. Which is
somehow I'm buying both. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Well, my daughter. Yeah, my daughter. We just moved her to New York.
I heard. So how was that? Were you guys a little brokenhearted over that?
Yeah, I think we spent a little too long there, because she wanted us to take her to her first class and stuff, and I've heard from other parents like, hey, you got to drop them off and get out, because otherwise it's too hard.
Amen. Yeah. That's like kindergarten all over again.
Oh man.
Only they can talk back.
Before we left, we had to ride the subway by herself and all that. And she got lost, of course. And my first instinct was like, man, let's go. I'm going to go get her. And my wife's like, yeah, we need to go get her. I'm like, well, wait a minute. We're not always going to be in New York to save her.
Right.
So we've got to let her figure it out.
Oh, good for
as
you.
hard as it was, we did it.
So what is she doing there?
She is at John Jay University. She got accepted there, and she's studying criminology.
Okay. Boy, what a long ways to go for criminology.
Yeah, I know. So her end goal is FBI. So.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the route to take then. You don't go to UNC to be into the FBI. I don't assume.
Yeah, I guess the FBI goes there and recruits a lot. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. Good. Well, good for her, man. So is she looking at being an agent, or being like a field agent, or is she
a field agent with some specialties, I guess.
Okay.
She wants to do. I have this weird kind of talent that I can profile people and read their mail, and I'm like, how do you do that? I'm like, I don't know. It's weird. So she wants to just be criminal profiler. So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, as long as maybe she'll help decorrupt for us.
That's what I said. Maybe she'll be the change that's needed there.
Yeah. Well, she grew up right, so hopefully.
Yep.
All right. Well, man, tell us a little bit. So your family's doing good. Yeah. You guys are doing so. So my audience knows you recently, I mean a couple years ago now, right? You sold your building. You used to own Lamb Ministries. Tell us a little bit about Lamb, how you got there. Just tell us a little bit about that so that I can explain to the audience what you've recently done.
Okay. So 17 years ago now, I was a full-blown meth addict, and been to prison twice because of it. And just didn't want to change. So the first time I went to prison, I didn't want to change. I didn't want to do anything that remotely inspired me to do anything different. I just wanted to just have fun and do drugs, and that was it. So I went to prison, and of course, when I was in prison the first time, I didn't want to change. So I learned new ways to commit crime and new ways to do things. So I came out as a new criminal. And
Imagine that.
yeah. And so I learned how to manufacture methamphetamine and just started doing that. And so the second time I went to prison, it was more of a wake-up call because I was facing a small habitual offender. So that was 48 years.
Wow.
So I knew something had to change. I didn't know what, and I didn't know how to change it. But I knew that sitting in a prison cell was not the life I wanted to live and not the life that we were supposed to live. But more specifically, I wanted to know what was out there for me. So yeah, I started searching, and I grew up in a home where, you know, Christian values and morals and stuff. And we went to church and stuff, and I never wanted to be part of anything like that. Just never wanted to, you know, just didn't take it. I was a kid at youth group said, with all the other parents said, you know, stay away from that Davenport kid. Yeah. So it was
Try again.
all right.
There. Okay. So you grew up with Christian values.
Yeah, grew up with Christian values and everything, and so I didn't want any part of it. So when I got out of prison the second time, I wanted to approach life differently. Not the same thing. I was kind of like a fish out of water, just flopping around and just flopping through the detours in life.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, I had a radical change in prison that I made a decision. I made a conscious decision that said, I do not want this lifestyle anymore. And it was just a radical change. And I can only say it was God that changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
I can't put words to it. I can't try to explain it. It's just something that each individual has to go through and live, you know, and experience themselves. But so we started a ministry called LAM Ministry. It's called Loved Ones Against Meth Ministries. And started out with just support groups, you know, and we decided that our support group is going to look different because, you know me, I don't want to do the same thing that everybody else is doing because that's just dumb.
Right.
So I wanted to do something different. So I looked back into, you know, growing up and looked in the Bible and said, hey, you know, this is once an addict, always an addict is a lie that I don't want to believe. So I just decided that we're going to offer hope. We're going to offer change, and change that actually lasts. So we decided that you can be set free from your addictions. And all of a sudden we had the DA, Ken Bucks, showed up, and he's like, you know, I want to know what's different about your group. You know, why are people talking about it in my courtroom and, you know, and stuff. And then we had, you know, judges show up and say the same thing. And they said, well, you're offering like a breath of hope because this is, you know, this is crazy. You know, think about it. 17 years ago, I mean, meth wasn't that huge, but I mean, it was around.
Right.
But people are not coming off of it and being successful. Well, we were seeing tons of people coming off of it and being successful. And so it started out with a group, and then blew into 5 groups, and then went into a men's home. Just we rented a house, and then blew up to another men's home. And so then we started a women's home, and then we have all these homes. We have like 6 homes now. And we're like, oh my gosh, you can't just keep policing all these houses and running back and forth to groups and stuff.
Right.
So like, we're gonna just look for a building. So we looked for a building that we obviously couldn't afford, and, you know, we could fill it, but we didn't have any cash in our pockets to do anything.
Yeah.
So we reached out to one of our supporters and, you know, kind of told him the idea. And I said, here it is, you know, here's something stupid and crazy. You know, what if you helped us buy a building? He said, well, let me talk to my investors and let me call you back. I'm like, okay. So I'm in Home Depot wandering around like every man normally does. And he gives me a call back and says, yeah, we're in. We'll bankroll you.
Oh, wow.
I said, what? Is my connection okay? So yeah, from that point on, we just bankrolled us, and then we were able to purchase the building from them. And yeah, it was crazy. So we had one of the biggest treatment centers in Greeley. Yep. And we had a sober living apartments and sober living house, and we were able to remodel probably 90% of the Lincoln Plaza there that we had. And then we decided that you know, when something's time to just stop doing, because after 16 years of doing something, and then like either the grace or, you know, just the business just stops kind of thing. Yeah, we saw that like we were now convincing people to try to get sober. Yeah. It it came from people were desperate to get sober. Then now we're trying to convince them to be sober.
Right. And, you know,
something changed.
Something changes, and it's funny because it's usually companies and organizations just have to bring in fresh blood, and they have to figure out how to communicate. And what happened is, I mean, this is, I don't know, I'm just talking out loud here, but I noticed over just the small amount of time that I knew you in Lamb Ministries that the clientele had changed. The kids are different. I no longer understood the language they were speaking over there. So that, I mean, I'm sure that has something to do with it.
It did. And, you know, I began to stress just, you know, because then the money wasn't coming in, and then I had to, you know, pay money out of my own savings and retirement stuff. And I said, this can't work. And so all that stress caused diabetes in my life. And so
no kidding.
Yeah, I was full-blown diabetic and type 1. And I was like, what the heck is going on? So, yeah. So I'm now diabetic.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, you got that going for you.
It's amazing.
So what do you have to do for diabetes? Do you take a shot if I remember right, you have to take a shot every day?
I take a shot, and then, you know, after meals and stuff. And I've got the insulin pump, and I've got, you know, the monitor all the time. And do I wear it all? No, I just take a shot, and, you know, when I'm done eating every time. And so it seems like I'm taking shots a lot. But see, the funny thing is I'm deathly afraid of needles.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah. I mean, the needle is like super small, but at the same time, I'm like, when the needle, because the needle just shoot me in the side with it and everything. And I had to do it by myself. I literally sat at my kitchen table trying to get myself a shot, like almost crying. Like, I can't do it. So, but I had to get over it quickly.
Yeah, I mean, literally, so it's every time you eat, you have to take a shot.
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude.
Type 1 diabetes. So I'm giving myself a shot a lot because I'm eating a lot.
Yeah.
So I thought I was dying when I first was diagnosed because I lost 25 pounds in a month.
Good God.
It was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I remember that.
It was nuts.
So
I knew time was time to get out.
Yeah,
you know,
that was
sell the
end.
building and stuff. And so we still have Lamb Ministries. We turned it more into like a foundation type thing where we can help people. And, you know, we quite haven't figured out how we want to help people yet, but, you know, we're working on it and seeing what we need to do and how we need to do it. But I think we're going to do more of a consulting business / ministry kind of thing where, because I mean, if you're going into a business and consulting, it is kind of a ministry sort of thing where you can just go in and just take a look around and say, you know, this is what you need. This is what you need to do. And my wife is super good at counseling, so she's going to do the counseling part of, you know, because there's a lot of business owners that need some counseling that carry a lot of stuff on them. Like if it's not me, it's nobody kind of thing. And you know, that's a lie. You can't be that way.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, you're right. When they micromanage the hell out of their businesses, man, they tend to get sick and tired and all of them. And then when you bring in a loved one to work with, holy cow, man. So you guys are a good couple to teach that. Definitely, you guys have been through the ringer and back. Your poor wife has been, because I mean, we're doing the math here. She was with you during your prison times too.
Yeah. So think of this. We got married in 2001 and I went to prison 6 months later. That's a hell of a honeymoon, telling you that.
Yeah, man. No wonder you went you went over here to the Bahamas or whatever, and you owed her.
Oh, big time. A few diamond rings later and a couple vacations, I think.
Dude, but you put her in that Lincoln Plaza, which, I mean, at the time, it makes sense. Like, you're young, you're trying to get your business going. And at the time, it just made sense. You're basically in with a whole bunch of meth heads in this building, and you can't get away from work because you live at work. And I mean, what trying times. And then you kind of, I remember you got your house and moved out of that situation, and that was all good and stuff. But that whole part where you were, you know, you took the family through and asked them to trust you. And and now I look at you and go, wow, they trusted him and he pulled them out the other end, and life's much different. You got a daughter in New York and another kid that's doing well, who's into cars, and your wife's still with you. It's amazing, bro. I mean, really, it is.
That was really a stupid idea, but it was an idea. It was an essential idea. I call these stupid ideas kind of essential ideas, because they're going to grow you, and also you're going to learn something from them. Because I mean, who in their right mind is going to move them and their family in a downtown apartment building full of drug addicts and live there during construction? I mean, if you've never lived through construction, that's right there. That's like divorce.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, don't ever do it.
Right.
So,
no. And you know what, my wife would, I laugh a little because I can't imagine Aaron living through any of that. Like, that's a done deal, man. We would be, God bless her. I think she loves me enough to maybe try it, but I don't know.
Don't push your luck.
No, we couldn't even live in a rental over the last year. We're waiting on our house to be done. We almost divorced like 4 times. Wow, good for you, bro. I remember that time, and that's the first thing I thought is, boy, this woman really loves him and believes in what you're doing. Yeah, well, they're all crazy, bro.
Yeah. I mean, just as long as she's not as crazy or in the same craziness field as me, I think we're good. But
well, so that's just it, right? You guys got a couple of crazies, and here you go off to another idea. You're currently got a bounty hunting, or you probably call it something else, company, and so I'm assuming this will be part-time at first, that you do the consulting stuff, or maybe even only part-time.
Well, so I'm thinking is that I'm raising a team up to actually do what I need them to do rather than me being involved all the time, because I've learned that mistake, from just past businesses and past experiences. The business owner can't always be hands-on, but they can't be hands-off either.
Right. Go out in the community and make more business.
Yep. And so you've got to have somebody that you trust, that you can release into it, but also be in the know.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I think that's a lot of times people make that mistake of say, hey, I want to grow you up in this, and then they're like, and there you are, and then they leave, and they're doing things, and they're not able to get a hold of it stuff, and then they wonder why their business is tanking. Right. Is because they're not involved anymore, because when you first started, people that got in business with you is because they got in business with you.
Yeah, and dude, I'm going through that now, and I'm getting a lot of people are saying, "Oh, you're still doing bail bonds?" And I'm like, "Shit, man, my marketing for real estate must be better than my marketing for bail bonds, because Holly answers the phones now, and so I'm not on the phone, and so I'm getting that a lot, like probably 5 times a week, once a day. Every time I'm at the jail, every time I'm out and about somewhere, you run into somebody who hasn't seen me in a while. And so it's a very dangerous game to play, because the only reason they're calling is because of me. And business is down, and I don't know if that's, you just don't know where to contribute. The fact is the jails are closed, the shit in Colorado going on. Yeah. It's not me, it's down across the board, and I'm still writing more than anybody else in Will County, but business is down. So is that my fault, or is that the corona? What is that? So I get it.
Yeah. On our end, I mean, it's like bondsmen are tired of doing it, so they're like, you know what, they're going to be out anyway in like a few, a day or 72 hours. Let's just start revoking people. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, yee. But hey, I mean, they don't want their money out there, and just it is what it is. So keeps my guys busy, and right now we're doing a lot just in the Fort Collins area and just revoking things, and So
We're on the same page, man. I'm sick and tired of people screwing me over. So now it's all about the threshold of how much I want to pay you to revoke. So
yeah,
it's crazy. It's different. I've been doing this 25 years and it's different.
it is. It's very different. But what do we expect? I mean, nothing can ever stay the same, right?
Well, that's right. And so you've learned to move on, and I think that's a great skill to have. You kind of finish up and move on, make a next step, finish up, move on, make a next step, and you've got these sort of layers in your life that have made you you. You know, you're like an old tree. You got these rings in you that and I think that's brilliant, dude. That's perfect. Now you became a minister or a pastor. Which one is it?
Yeah. So I got ordained.
Ordained.
15 years ago, and was an associate pastor at Victory Christian Fellowship for a long time. And we stepped down because it was just too much for doing land ministries full time, and then being associate. So, and then having a service, and there's a lot of responsibility and pressure just coming up with something every Saturday night to minister and talk about and stuff.
Yeah.
So I decided something's got to give, and necessarily being the associate pastor wasn't something I started, so it's much easier to lay down than like land ministries or something. So so we just kind of floated around and did anything, and I didn't really want anything to I didn't want to be responsible for pastoring anything outside of land ministries.
Right.
But we got involved with a new church, and now I'm another associate pastor, but it's a different role. So I'm in charge of their security and medical and safety team. So just kind of oversee all that stuff.
What you need nowadays.
Yeah. So just oversee that, and the ushers and stuff. But it's different than preaching every day or preaching every week and stuff. So
yeah,
and it's a church that has grown significantly just in the past 3 years that it's been going. So it's like, where did all these people come from?
Good. It's good.
Yeah.
Well, the area has grown immensely too, so that helped out. But obviously, you guys are doing something right. So, how are you going to charge people for your consulting business? I'm just curious, and I think my audience would learn something from it.
So, I think we're going to go into a business and evaluate it, and I'm not going to charge for an evaluation simply because I think if they're at that point where they're going to need us and say, hey, I need help and I need some spunk back into this thing.
Right.
I'm not going to charge because it's probably, number one, they're not making the money that they need to. And this is like a last call of desperation. Like, hey, I don't know what else to do. I'm at my wit's end. My savings is almost gone. My retirement's almost gone. So I don't want to charge them for anything. So I want to base it off of what I see, where the need is. Yeah. So I've always been one of those guys where if I start a business, I'm going to find a need and then I'm going to fill the need. Yeah. So if there's a need in a business, then I want to be there to fill that need and then teach them how to be that filler in there for it. So I haven't honestly figured out like a price structure or scale or anything, but I figure, it'll work out, I think, just as we start. And the first couple of times, will probably be a learning experience. It'll be like a go for business, and not a go for business. It'll be just like it'll just be a trial and error kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, let me come in and help you for free kind of thing, and then learn from there.
Yep. Oh, that's good. And then you can build your scale and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes you can base it off of Donita's hourly rate because she is a counselor. You can base it off of that and double it for you. And then, you can, I'm going to do 40 hours a week. So, go that route, I guess. But you know what, anymore, the small businesses don't have a lot of money. And corporations don't need our help. There's that. So really, you can't be crazy about it. You're really going to do this out of the kindness of your heart is what's going to happen. Yeah,
pretty much. And if they want to, here's my suggested price kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then here's a donation. Because I think we'll operate it as a nonprofit. So I think it'll work well that way as well.
Yeah.
But just especially with just the climate and everything with the coronavirus and everything, shut down a lot of businesses and put a lot of people, mom and pop businesses specifically,
Yeah.
out of business. So I don't necessarily want to be the next coronavirus that comes in and takes all their money.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
and shuts them down. But
Corona
just really want to help
recovery. Yeah. There you go. Corona counseling.
Rona revival.
Rona revival. Oh my God. Well, man, I wanted to have you on the show for so long, and this damn thing's only a half hour. I could go longer, but then so I appreciate you coming on. Your story is too magnanimous to really get in a half hour, but you did a good job of doing that.
It's the nutshell version.
Yeah, right. So for anybody that may want to know more, are you promoting anything? What's going on? You got something you want to send out an email or phone numbers or anything like that? Or?
Just my phone number right now. We're working on like advertising and marketing stuff. So I'm not sure exactly how much money I want to spend with all that.
Okay. Yeah.
Word of mouth is like the best ever.
It is.
So like you put my name in your mouth, then hey, that's amazing.
That's right. So call Justin Davenport, and what's your phone number, Justin?
It's 970-302-8619.
Perfect. If you need any help with your business or bounty hunting, it's out there. Or investigations. Yeah, that's all 5 of my listeners might call you. You never know.
Hey, that'd be amazing because it's batting 100% right there.
There you go.
I tell you, the people that you recommended for investigation to do some investigation work for them. Oh my gosh, I'm like for their whole family now.
Oh, really? Good. That's really cool, man. Because whenever I do that, you're the first one that's really done a good job for them.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I've met a certain politician in that very same fashion, being asked to do investigation work under the table.
Yeah,
that was fun. That was shady. That was shady as shit, but made a good connection. Right on, bro. I appreciate you very much. I'm sure I'll see you around soon. Any last words of advice that you can give to these guys?
Just because it looks bad doesn't mean it's all bad. You can be the hope and the light in somebody else's life or business or your own.
Dude, mic drop that one. Wow. He mic dropped it. That's a sound bite. Producers, you need to clip that and so I can use it for my IG. That is perfect. All right, brother. I take care. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you for tuning in to Sons of Ditches. For more information, go to my website, ronworley.com, and my YouTube channel, Sons of Ditches. Facebook, Ron L. Worley, or Instagram at Ronald L. Worley II.